What's new, crew, and welcome back to my channel. It is the beginning of a brand new month, which basically means it's time for me to share with you guys my meal plan. Have not done this over the last couple months just because I've been so busy towards the end of the month. There's been a lot of really great and amazing things happening in just real life, and I've kind of taken a step back from filming as many videos as I do or I like to do. But things have slowed down. A lot of people have had babies in my life. A lot of people have kind of completed the thing that made life kind of busy. So many baby showers are done, birthday parties are done, and I'm really excited to hopefully push out a little bit more content that I have been recently. So here's my March meal plan. If you are new, my March meal plan, or any meal plan that I do, I sit down at the end of every month and I plan my meal for the upcoming month for every dinner, every lunch, every breakfast for the next month for my family of 5. I do this because I grocery shop once a month at the beginning of the month, which means I need a really solid plan. So we're gonna hop in. I'm gonna show you guys all 30 meals that I have for the month. I also have started planning my lunches. I have 8 lunch options here that we're just gonna be rotating through. So I'll share you guys the lunch options at the end, but let's hop into all of these dinners. The first thing we're going to be eating this month is a ham steak. We still have a whole pig in our freezer, or half of a pig. We have a lot of pork in our freezer. I was digging through it and I found some individual ham steaks at the very bottom of the freezer, and I thought, you know what? We should use some of those up. So I'm gonna make a ham steak. We're gonna make it with some cheesy potatoes in the crock pot, and I'll probably just end up roasting some veggies or something on the side with that meal. It sounds really good. It's gonna be a super simple meal. Also a really quick, easy, just get it done kind of a meal. We're also gonna do some barbecue pork chops because I do have all that pork. I have 2 really tried and true pork preparations for pork chops that I've done in the past. And I figured to switch it up, we should just slather some barbecue sauce on it and call it a day. I think it's going to be a way that my kids will be more likely to eat it. Pork chops are one of those cuts my kids aren't like always super excited about eating, but I think if I put barbecue sauce on it and cut it up, they won't know the difference between barbecue chicken and barbecue pork chops. So that's my master plan for that. We are gonna do some Strombolis. I had this on my meal plan last month, but it just never ended up happening. It's one of those meals that got skipped over. We ate out a lot last month for dinners, so I have a lot of rollover meals this month that I'm hoping to be able to use. And that's also a good thing because it should help keep my budget down, because I already have all the things to make the Strombolis and things like that. Right along with that, all the same ingredients for the Stromboli, we're gonna make our own stuffed crust pizza. Go-to meal, especially on a Friday. We'll come home, we'll make probably 2 stuffed crust pizzas, a meat lovers, a veggies lovers, whatever it is. And we'll all just hang out, we'll watch movies, we'll play games, eat the pizza, and it's just a really chill night to kind of kick off the weekend. I want to make a linguine Alfredo. I have this Alfredo recipe that I've kind of been working on over the last couple months. I've tried it with different noodles and stuff. And I think this month I want to make it with linguine and just make it like a vegetarian pasta, throw in like a little bit of corn, a little bit of broccoli, and just toss it in with the linguine and make it a vegetarian meal. We're gonna do Swedish meatballs. It's something we haven't done in a couple of weeks, couple of months, and it's so good. It's the easiest recipe. I recently filmed a freezer cooking day, like a freezer cooking meal video, and I shared that recipe in that video. If it's up, I'll link it down below. If not, it's definitely coming. I completely underestimated how much footage I have for that, and it's taken me a lot longer to edit than I thought it was. So that might be up, and if it's not, it's definitely coming. I figured we should do some deluxe deli style sandwiches, like with pastrami, salami, ham, turkey, whatever the meat choice is. Just get a ton of different lunch meat that we don't normally get. Throw on a ton of veggies, olives, pickles, tomatoes, lettuce, all the things. Just make a really deluxe sandwich. I'll pick up some sub rolls, and we'll eat those with some french fries and have it be a really easy. I have a couple of really easy meals in here for myself and even for my husband, because our spring activities for our kids are kicking off, and I help run some of those activities. So my husband's gonna be taking over cooking, which is an area that I usually handle. So I wanna have some easier meals on here for him and things that I can prepare in advance and he can just throw in the oven or things like that. To help kind of keep the household running as things shift into like a new season, and he's gonna be taking on responsibilities that he doesn't usually handle. And I just wanna make that go as smooth as possible. So to have something like a deli sandwich on hand. Dads make good sandwiches. That is just a known fact. So if I say, hey babe, here's some stuff, make some sandwiches and throw some french fries in the air fryer, he'll love me forever. So we have that on the meal plan, and that's probably gonna be something that sticks around for the next couple of months until spring and summer activities draw to a close and I'm less busy. Tacos, that's another one that I can prep super easy. I can make earlier in the day, and he can just reheat it in the microwave or reheat it in the crock pot, whatever. So tacos are always a running thing. We're going to do ground hamburger Philly cheesesteaks. I made these a couple months ago. I have no idea if I shared it or not, but it's just like you're making a Philly cheesesteak, except you make it with hamburger meat. It tastes just as good. It tastes the same, but it's way less expensive because it's hamburger meat and it's not steak. So I'm gonna make those because it just sounds really good. I also have some bell peppers left over from last month that are still chilling in my fridge. So I think I'm gonna eat those earlier in the month. That way I can use some of those older bell peppers and get them used up because those were really expensive last month when I bought them. Burgers. This is another one that's probably gonna stay on the meal plan for a while. Just something really easy, something my husband is totally capable of making. My husband's not as experienced in the kitchen as I am, so if I told him, hey babe, go ahead and make a pie crust and make a pot pie from scratch with your own gravy and your own pie crust, he's gonna look at me like I'm crazy. So to have something like burgers and to have some burger buns in the freezer for him to pull out and do all the things is going to be a necessity for the next couple of months. Shredded chicken sandwiches. This is the easiest meal, the cheapest meal. You just take some chicken, put it in your crock pot, shred it, pour over some chicken gravy, and you can eat that on sandwiches. You can eat that on top of rice, on top of mashed potatoes, whatever it is. My kids like it over mashed potatoes, so does my husband. I prefer it in a sandwich. Either way, it's super easy and super delicious. I'm going to try to make a Mississippi pot roast, assuming I can find all the ingredients. I've never made a Mississippi pot roast before, so it's gonna be a completely new meal for us. I'm hoping, my plan is to buy a little bit of a bigger roast and cut it into sections and use it for a couple meals this month. We're gonna do breakfast for dinner, just another really simple, easy meal, and plus my kids will go bananas if I make French toast and bacon for dinner. They're gonna love it, so I think we're going to do that. I'm gonna make enchiladas. I have all the things to make the enchiladas. It's not something that my family ever super loves. It's never something that they ask for, but I have some of the enchilada sauce sitting on the shelf and it's been there a while. Kind of want to rotate it and get it used up. So we're gonna do enchiladas, and if I throw enough cheese on top of it, my family will eat it. So that's my plan. I'm gonna do stuffed chicken. I made this meal a couple of months ago. It might have been last month. My family really liked it. I just took the chicken breast, I cut it down the center, I kind of butterflied it, stuffed it full of cream cheese that I tossed a bunch of herbs in and some bacon, and I stuffed that bacon, herb, cream cheese in the chicken, seared it on both sides, popped it in the oven, and it was really good. I think we ate that over mashed potatoes. So I want to make that again this month, and I think I want to try to shove some chopped broccoli in it as well, just to help get a little bit of vegetable in there, and I'm really excited about that. We're gonna do brats. I really randomly found a thing of brats on the bottom of my freezer last month, pulled them out, made them for my kids, and they devoured them. So if they're gonna eat them, I'm gonna make them. So we're gonna do brats. I wanna make stuffed peppers. This might be something that gets scratched though, because last month I paid $8 for 3 peppers. So if peppers are still super expensive, this is something I'm gonna scratch and switch it out with something else. But I put it on the meal plan and I'm hoping that I can make it work. If not, I might make a deconstructed stuffed pepper, because I did can peppers last year or the year before from the garden. I still have them on my storage shelf. I canned them with tomatoes, so they were great for chilies and Spanish rice and things. So I might make a deconstructed stuffed pepper with the peppers I already have. I'm gonna do a teriyaki chicken. This is something that my family really likes. I make this teriyaki glaze, marinate it all day, bake it in the oven, you can grill it, whatever you want to do. Chalupas. I found a chalupa shell recipe off of Pinterest. I want to give it a try. We all love chalupas. We all know the shell is the best part of a chalupa. So if I can make a halfway decent chalupa shell, I'm gonna give it a go. So we're gonna try that, and if nothing else, I might switch it out for burritos or something. but we're gonna give that a shot and hopefully the chalupa shells work out. My husband tagged me on this recipe on Facebook. It was called super yummy pasta. So that's what I have written down here. It's the super yummy pasta, and I'm gonna give that a go because that's what he said he wanted. I found a Thai red curry soup, and it was basically like a pho, but it was a red curry. It looked really good. It looked right up my husband's alley, and I have a ton of pho noodles downstairs on my storage shelf, a bunch of different kind of ramen noodles and things like that down there that I got from Aldi. I'm gonna give this a try because I already have the coconut milk for it, and I only needed, I think, rice wine vinegar and tomato puree for it, a little bit of ginger curry paste. I needed a couple things, but then I went and found a couple more recipes that would use those same ingredients, so I'm not just buying them for one meal this month. Also on the list is a tomato spinach sausage pasta. I have some kielbasas in my freezer, and I think I'm gonna use the kielbasas for that. I might drop the spinach off of this dish. I don't know how the rest of my family would react to the spinach in the pasta, so it might just be more like a sausage pasta. It's just something new I'm gonna try. I found it on Pinterest and we're gonna give it a go. Sloppy Joe's, another one that my husband could easily make if he needed to, or I could just cook in the crock pot and let it sit for a couple hours while I was off doing whatever I needed to do, and he can serve it up whenever he's ready. Chicken kebabs. This is another one I could prep and he could easily throw on the grill and have it good to go. Chicken kebabs are so good. I love them. I love to marinate my chicken in all sorts of different things with peppers and mushrooms and onions and all the things. And typically we serve that over rice, and our kids really like it that way. I want to do a beef and broccoli. This is another one of those meals I was going to use the roast for. I was just going to get the whole roast and cut it up into beef tips and use it for beef and broccoli. That was the other recipe that needed some of the same ingredients that Thai curry soup needed. I want to do kind of like a sheet pan dinner with roasted veggies, kielbasa, peppers, potatoes, all of those things. I'm not quite sure what's going to sit on that sheet pan dinner. Basically, I think I'm gonna use that as a clear the shelf kind of dinner. I'm gonna take whatever vegetables I have left at the end of the month, and just to use them up, I'm gonna throw everything on the pan, roast them in the oven with some kielbasa, and hopefully clear the shelves and make room for next month's groceries. We're gonna do a crab dinner. My husband actually bought a bag of crab meat halfway through the month of February. It's chilling in the freezer, so I think what I'm going to do is make some grilled cheese for my kids. We'll hang out with them for a little bit, put them down, and me and my husband will have like a date night crab dinner at home or something with some pasta or whatever it may be. So we're gonna do that. And the last meal is leftovers. I always schedule in at least one day throughout the month to have leftovers. We will eat leftovers for more of these meals, but this is a perfect segue into lunches for the month. If we have leftovers, that's what we're eating for lunch the next day. Heading into lunches for the month, we will do leftovers, but other things we need for lunch options. I've noticed the last couple months as prices are going up, I'm not buying as much lunch items as I really needed to. I was relying too much on leftovers, and we don't always have leftovers, and then we would eat through all the lunch items and it would get to the last week of the month and maybe I didn't really have a whole lot of lunch items. I'm making more effort to actually plan out my lunches. I'm noticing I really need to as prices are going up. I'm not having enough to really cover lunches super comfortably throughout the month. So I have 8 options on here, minus leftovers. I don't want to count on those as much as I have been because we don't always have them. So options here, we're gonna do tuna casserole. We make tuna casserole hot and cold, and I'm planning on making this probably a weekend lunch. So I'll make a bigger batch because all 5 of us are gonna be home. I'm gonna make it cold 2 weekends and hot 2 days out of the weekend. We prepare them a little bit differently. The cold is more like your typical pasta salad with mayo and peas and tuna. Our hot preparation is a little bit different. We actually make it with cream of chicken soup. We throw in some cheese, it gets melty. We'll throw in not only just tuna, we'll throw in a thing of canned salmon, which I already have a ton of, and we eat it hot. We eat it with potato chips, and just to give a little bit of a variation, but they use pretty much the same ingredients. It's just a tad different. So I'm gonna do that one day out of both weekends. So just for argument's sake, tuna casserole is going to be made every Saturday through the month of March. We're gonna do lunch wraps. So basically like a sandwich, but we're gonna eat it in a tortilla shell with either bacon, lots of veggies, ham, lunch meat, all those things. We're gonna wrap them up and eat them that way. Mac and cheese, this might also be a weekend lunch. I'm gonna buy enough to have them where we could eat them every Sunday for the entire month. Quesadillas is another one. I already have a lot of quesadillas in my freezer. If you ever wanted to freeze flour tortillas, they freeze perfect. They thaw amazing. I've never had an issue. So we're gonna do quesadillas. I'll buy a whole month's worth of tortillas, put them in the freezer, pull them out as I need them. We're gonna do a Lunchable style lunch, which really is just gonna be crackers, sausage, cheese, probably carrots, grapes, cut up apples, cut up pears, whatever it is. It's gonna be more of a snacky lunch. That could very easily also be a weekend lunch if we wanted it to. We're also gonna do SpaghettiOs. I'm just gonna buy a couple of cans to have on hand for the kids that are home with me during the day. If we do have leftovers, I will most likely eat the leftovers. I'll heat them up a can of SpaghettiOs and they will have SpaghettiOs. Of course, sandwiches. We go through so many loaves of bread throughout the month, so that's another thing I'm trying to not rely too heavily on sandwiches, because I've had it where I buy 12 loaves of sandwich bread. I think we're gonna have enough for the month, and then the last week out of the month we have no bread. We might not have any leftovers, and then it's like, okay, what are we doing for lunch today? What are we doing for lunch today? It can be a little bit of a struggle, so I'm trying not to rely on those things too much throughout the month. But that is all the lunches I plan on eating throughout the month for our family, all of the dinners I plan on eating for the month for our family. Thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you guys in another video. Bye.
Seen a lot of change, been through a lot of pain. Some things are not the same as they were a year ago, but all will be